Sam, it's been a while since we caught up together. So tell us, what have you been up to? I believe you're now married.
Yep, married.
Big event in your life. So tell us, give us an up to date report.
Up to date. Married now 2 years. To my beautiful wife Emma. We now currently live in Macrofelt, or just outside Macrofelt.
Yes.
And then we've just had our first wee baby boy there,
Wow.
Daniel.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. So a few sleepless nights and just adjusting to that new way of living.
You never adjust to it.
Give me hope.
Our youth week in Antrim, Made for More, and Sam, you're speaking on that Sunday night, the final Sunday night.
Yep.
And we're really looking forward to that. I suppose, Sam, you're here today. I mean, you as a young man have spoke quite openly about your struggles, you know, with depression, darkness, and so on. But before maybe we get to that, Sam, tell us a little about your background, you know, leading up to maybe those, you know, dark periods in your life. The old Puritans used to speak about the dark night of the soul.
Yep.
And it seems to be, Sam, that you've spoken about that, and it was wonderful to hear how the Lord has worked and delivered you in those situations. But maybe start at the beginning, and we'll just let you go.
Go from there.
Go from there.
Yeah. So I suppose there's nothing really too extravagant with my testimony. I was born into a family of 4 boys. I'm the oldest of 4 boys. My father, he's from Kenya, and my mother's from Northern Ireland. We were all brought to church and everything else, like very traditional way of growing up. Grew up in the Free Church, not in Cloy. But I was saved at 5 years old. My father led me to the Lord. I remember coming home one Sunday and asking him I needed to get saved. You know, I knew at that point in my life that there was a distance between me and Christ, and that was a sin that was in my life, and I knew I needed to get saved. Now, looking back on it, and I'll probably touch on that more in my testimony on Sunday, I got saved then, but did I go on with God? I don't think so. There was a lot of maybe rules and regulations I was just following, instead of really having that relationship with Christ that I feel every young person and every person needs to have in their life to be a true disciple of Christ and to be a witness for Christ. You need to have that first and foremost relationship with him first. But yeah, went to primary school. It was a Christian ethos sort of primary school. It was handy, very easy. When I got saved, I went back in on the Monday morning, and we had like a circle time, and I said to my 7 other fellas in my class that I got saved, and my best friend James Abraham, he got saved the next day then. I'm not saying that because I got saved, he got saved. It was the Lord doing something in our class.
Amen.
So growing up, I've always had an interest in sports. Anyone that knows me, I've had an interest in sports. Rugby is a big thing for me, in athletics. So when I was in school, high school that was,
You competed at quite a high level, didn't you?
Yeah,
Was it Ulster, Ireland?
Ulster rugby, and then All Ireland championships for the athletics. So I didn't do too bad. Regret have the pains for it now, like. But yeah, I've had the highs of life, but I've also had the lows of life too. Like, you know, people say, well, what does Christ have for you? What does going to church have for you? What, you're not going to live your best life. I never drank, I never went to clubs or anything like that, but I've had the success. I've had the people recognition, like, you know, people, I would have walked down the streets and people would have said, oh, you play for such and such a team, and you do this and you do that, like, you're a great player and all this. And like, I lived for that praise. I loved hearing people giving me that praise. But I switched my mindset then. I was like, I need to hear people's praise, but I don't need to hear God's direction. And that's where a lot of young people are going wrong in their life. They're listening to what man is saying instead of listening what God is actually telling them what to do with their life. There's so much confusion. And like that's where the devil just, as it says, comes in like a roaring lion, seeking who can come in to steal and kill and destroy. He's very sly in what he does. Very, those wee small things in my life where I thought, oh, someone's telling me I'm doing well, it's not too bad. But that small wee bit, that was one foothold he had, and he just kept on taking away and taking away. And then that's where all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't be as good as what people were expecting me to be. When the exam pressure came, as I said earlier, like I'm not academically gifted. Like I work with my hands. I have sports, no problem, but academics, not great. When it came to my GCSEs, it was then when the pressure was, oh, well, you're not going to live up to the standards that you've done through your sports. You're not going to live up to the expectations that your teachers think that you can do. You're not actually as good as what you think. You're not actually as good as what everyone else thinks you are. And then that was the start of going down into the rabbit hole for me, where I was just constantly looking at darkness and not looking at the hope that is in Christ and the light that is in Christ for my life. So yeah.
Well, Sam, that's very powerful to hear a young man acknowledge that. And what age were you at that time?
So I would have been 15.
Yeah,
15,
it's
14,
quite young.
15.
So
Yeah.
just coming up to the end of your high school education, as
Yeah.
it were. So really, that's where the struggle began.
Yeah.
And you've said there about seeking the praise of men and living for the praise of men, and I think that's endemic to human nature.
Yeah.
But in many ways, you were still attending church at that time.
Yeah.
And so you would have been hiding those feelings.
Yeah.
You were putting on a suit, going to church with your family, and in many ways, was it easy to hide your feelings? And why do you think it's easy for a young man, a young woman who is struggling? Because as a pastor, I mean, I come across this from time to time, pretty often, in fact, in recent years. But young people who you look at and think these guys have got it all together.
Yeah.
They're at the youth fellowship, they're in church, they come in with their family, they look respectable, but then all of a sudden you get a phone call.
Yeah.
And you realise this kid is in absolute turmoil inside.
Yeah.
But could you maybe share something about that? Just about, hiding the struggle and...
Yeah. Hiding the struggle was an easier option for me than actually wanting to talk about it. Because there's an aspect that I think that young people live with the pressure of they can't do anything wrong within the church. If they come across that they've got the Bible, they've got the suit on, they've got their hats on, they're at church every week, and they look to the outside world that everything's okay, then they can't actually say, oh wait, here, I'm actually not okay. I need help. And that for me was like the fear of actually asking for help was too much.
Wow.
And so I was just like, it's easier for me to just go along and pretend like everything's okay. And yeah, like, and it's not to say that the people in my church or my family wouldn't have helped me. They would have. 100% they would have. But it was because I was listening to the devil in my ear and thinking that Sam's...
What were some of the thoughts, Sam? Was it vulnerability? Was it the thought of looking weak in front of your peers? What,
Exactly.
Share some of these things. What were, for
So,
you?
like-
What are young people listening here? They obviously are listening to you.
Yeah.
And maybe there's someone here and they're afraid to speak up. But,
Yeah.
To hear it coming from a young man at 15 years of age,
Yeah.
so maybe share some of what were those fears that, kept you from asking for help?
Like, Paul, like, I'm a big fella. I'm 6'6",
You are a big lad, you're bigger than me. Wouldn't let you meet you in a rugby pitch, I can tell you that.
So like I always sort of had everyone seen me as the big,
Yeah.
tall, strong fella.
Sam's got it together.
Sam's got it.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have any weaknesses.
Yeah.
He's not struggling.
Yeah.
It's like you can't expect Sam to have anything wrong with him.
Yeah.
It's like for other young people like me, the thought to be vulnerable was I couldn't do it. I couldn't actually bring myself to the point of admitting that I needed help. So I struggled on my own because everyone else had this idea that Sam's strong, Sam's great, Sam's got it all together. So I was just like, I'm going to have to do this on my own because everyone else says I've got it all together.
Yeah.
But that led me to a point where I couldn't do it on my own. It was like I physically got to the stage where I was like, I can't.
Wow.
It's like I can't fight this. I can't do this on my own.
Was that the pinnacle of your struggles, Sam?
Yeah.
Where you entered that really dark period of your life?
Yeah.
You know, your lowest point. Would that have been your lowest point?
I think so.
Or the beginning of the
I think between it and me thinking, well, you know what? Like no one actually really would care. Like no one would actually care if I just disappeared tomorrow. You know, if Sam just went away, everyone else's problems would be sorted. You know, no one would have to worry about Sam. No one would have to think about Sam. It would be all easy. It's all good. I was like, my self-worth was so low to the floor that I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be vulnerable with people. I don't want to it was nearly like if I was to be vulnerable, because I thought so many people were looking up to me as this big strong person. If I was to turn around and say I'm weak, I'm vulnerable here, I'd break them people too. So I was like, I thought I was putting myself up on like this pedestal, being like this beacon of hope for people, whereas that's not where we're meant to be. You know, Christ is our beacon of hope. He's the one that shares the light in our lives. Yet I was trying to fill Christ's void in so many people's lives, but it was a pressure I couldn't carry. But only Christ could carry that.
Do you feel, Sam, that, you know, when we look at the sporting field, you know, no matter what, I mean, we in Northern Ireland, in this part of the island, we have had so many young sportsmen who have taken their lives.
Yeah.
And can you understand the struggles there for somebody at the very pinnacle of their sport? Can you understand that? You know,
100%.
You know, there's and I know we're not saying that this is the sole cause of this. You know, there are many reasons why people self-harm and struggle mentally, but when it comes to that devastating impact where somebody actually, you know, removes themselves.
Yeah.
With that feeling that I'd be far better if I'm away here.
Yeah.
I mean, you have explained here today that there's a process, or at least one of the processes that may be taking place in a life out there.
Yeah.
That we're trying to fill the void of living up to expectations and so on. So what actually brought you to the point, Sam, where then, which led you out of that? You know, was it just the point where, was it the Lord showed you, I cannot do what he can do?
It was like one night, literally in my room, I got to the point where I was like, I've made the plan. I know what I'm going to do.
Wow.
I got up off my bed and went towards the door. I reached for the door handle, and passages of scripture, it was like Psalm 23. It's the psalm that I turn to for my testimony. It's a passage that
shepherd psalm.
Yeah. You know, it's a psalm that I learnt in Sunday school and the children's meeting, but because I was so far away, I sort of forgot about it. But at that point, I remembered it was like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know, them verses, at the point where I was in the pit, God was still there. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. God was still there. He was that friend that never left me. I took my face away from him, but he never turned his face from me. And like, you know, that the when the where it says, like, you know, the shepherd went out after that one sheep. I was that one sheep. He came to find. It's like, it still breaks me to this day, because like in my head, there's still nothing in and of myself. There's still nothing good. But Christ,
He's worthy.
He's worthy.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not like people coming on Sunday. It's not you're not coming to hear Sam speak, and you're not coming to hear my story. I'm not exalting myself, because in and of myself there is nothing good. But hopefully, from what I share of what Christ has done, people will see that Christ can do everything. That he is that person that no matter what you've done in your life or what you're going through in your life, he is that mercy and that grace and that love and the hope to give you that happiness and that joy that nothing in this world can satisfy. Only Christ.
There's a very famous quote by Augustine, and he said that basically, you know, our hearts will be restless until they find their rest in you. And I think, Sam, what you're saying there is that, you know, young people, especially young people, who look for this, you know, kind of baseline, this, you know, contentment, satisfaction, completion, acceptance in who they are. Yeah. Even though a pastor, I mean, we walk. People look at the pastor and say, he's got it all together. He's no struggles.
Yeah.
Well, ask my wife, or ask my children.
Yeah.
You know, I often say, you know, people say, "Are you a Christian?" I say, "Well, talk to my wife, talk to my family."
Yeah.
You know, and we mentioned Spurgeon. I mean, these were men like, you know, Spurgeon. You had others who struggled. You
Spurgeon, Job,
yeah,
Elijah,
the Bible
all struggled.
Yeah.
With depression.
Yeah.
They weren't any less of a Christian.
No. But God met them.
Yes. He met them at the point of their very need.
Yeah.
And yet, so many people, like, the world and the worldly way of dealing with depression is, well, you can, you know, counseling will bring you to the point of you can solve
yourself.
You can help it.
Yeah.
But you can't help it. There's nothing that you can do to help with your depression. Now, I'm not saying that depression isn't curable or that it goes away completely. I still have days where I still feel low.
Yeah.
But it's not to the point where I'm at the pits again.
Hopeless.
Yeah. Because I see that my worth isn't in myself. It's in Christ. Christ says, I am a son of God. I'm adopted into the family of Christ.
Greater is he that is in me.
Yes. Exactly.
Than he that is in the world.
He gives us that joy.
Yeah.
He gives us true happiness in life. Like, there's, even on my lowest of days, I still set my sights to think upon things above, not on things below.
Yeah. How important, Sam, to young people are, you know, getting away from rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a young man, you went to church, you did all what was expected. But you and I have spoke about this, you know, about substance.
Yeah.
Young people need substance. It's not just a matter of ticking boxes.
Yeah.
You know, so I read my Bible, I pray. There's many young people do that, and older people as well, and yet they feel they're still in the pit. They're still, and they need to cry unto the Lord. But it's not just about asking God to take away my darkness, but it's maybe, there's a sense in which, we do live with this darkness. We're in a fallen world. There's always going to be depression around us, but it's living in a sense where, it's living in the presence of the Lord.
Yeah.
It's knowing He's there.
Yeah.
And even at times, I was reading one of the Puritans the other day, and sometimes those guys scare me. The way they talk about darkness, they use the word desertion. When God deserts us, when I think of desertion, I think God has really abandoned me here. But the old Puritans spoke about desertion, and they talked about then the cure for the deserted soul, and and the dark night of the soul when it rolls in. And we can't always soar like eagles as Christians.
Yeah.
We can't always be up on the mountaintop.
Yeah.
And I remember a man saying to me as a young Christian, he says, when you're up too high, the air's light, and you need to come down to the valleys again. But it is in the valleys we grow, Sam.
100%.
It's in those low points that where the Lord draws near, and He just shows us, and you can maybe speak about this here, that the Lord shows us, that you are nothing without me.
Yep.
You are absolutely nothing. All my worth I have is in me.
Yep.
And but it's getting young people to think. So I mean, if you were talking to young people, and when you do talk to young people, what do you say to them? What do you encourage them to do? In the sense of, are there passages of Scripture that we should think about in those dark moments, or is it just more a general, this is our walk with God, remain close to Him, feed on the Scriptures, but think on the Scriptures.
Yep.
Don't just have a devotional life, where I just read, I pray, I go to church.
Yeah.
But it's is there things there, Sam, that you maybe could elaborate on, and maybe that may help young people listening here?
Yeah.
As to
So, again, I think young people have, this is speaking from my experience, we have to get away from this mindset of the church expects young people to do no wrong, and that they are perfect, that they can get everything right. And young people have to get away from, well, my minister said this, and my mum and dad said this, and this is why I believe this. To the unbeliever out there, they don't care what your mum and dad says or what your minister says. They care about what you say. They care about how you live your life. And it's very, when that comes into a point of, let's make this real. Let's make our faith real. Not rules and regulations. I put on my suit, I carry my Bible, I go to church, I go to the prayer meeting. All those things are great. But when times get tough, what happens? Who do you turn to? When, let's say, someone in your workplace or your school is really, really grinding your gears, how do you react to them? Is it in a God-loving way? Yeah. Or do you just snap and go back to the old filthy ways? Yeah. We're supposed to renew our minds daily. Yeah. In Christ.
Yeah, Romans 12.
Yeah. Yeah. And even on that point of acceptance, right? Yeah. Think about David. He was the son that Jesse never sent down to the battle. Go out and look after my sheep. He wasn't seen as someone that was worthy to go to the battle. He wasn't seen as someone that was worthy to be called when Samuel came to anoint. But yet, David was the one that was a man after God's own heart. And in 1 Samuel 17, and this is, again, a chapter for me that has always spoken to me. 1 Samuel 17.
It's great to have these passages mentioned, Sam, because these are so helpful to young people.
Yeah.
And to us all.
Yeah. David comes down into the battle, and he sees everyone else so feared and scared, and he sees his brothers, and he says, David said, "What have I now done? Is there not a cause?" David, who was the one that no one thought anything of, yet God still had a purpose for him. he says, is there not a cause to stand up for Christ against Goliath? You know, young people today, because maybe they're not doing the things of the world and think, oh, well, I'm so little, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, God has given you a purpose, and he's given you a responsibility to stand up for him, even if you think you can't do it. David still did it. Even when everyone else doubted him, he still did it. Young people today need to grow in that relationship with Christ, so that when they're called upon, that they still stand up for Christ, that they still carry the cross. It's like we're called to pick up our cross and follow him every day. We're not told, oh, well, pick up your cross, but when things get tough, drop it and, you know, blend in with the crowd. It's stand up and go against the crowd.
And yet the world really expects the young Christian to do that. I mean, something I've been thinking about recently is, I'm going to use this word, dualistic mindset. Where we're expected as Christians to have a private faith, but that faith is to be kept in private and it's not allowed to impact our public life. So that's why we often say, you know, we're one thing on a Sunday but another thing during the week. And there's many strands to this. That's why, you know, why are young people listening to the same music as their own godly friends or unconverted friends? Why do they go to the same places? Because there's this kind of schism, there's this division. It's a dual life, you know. I'm a Christian on Sunday, but I'm something else. And really, the word that I'm thinking about here is lordship. You know, that Christ is Lord over our life. David went out there. He wasn't, you know, today the application would be that the guys that are really serving are the guys on the battlefield, not the guy minding the sheep. The guys that are really serving the Lord today are the guys in the pulpit, the guys in full-time ministry, not the guy. Sam, you have a very interesting job. Tell us what that job is.
I make hearses and limousines.
I hope I never need you. I will one day. So, but you know, people might say, well, that's a dead-end job. You know, you can't, Sam, would you not really love to serve the Lord? Why not think about going into Bible college, being a pastor, being a missionary, because you're now in among those guys who really serve the Lord. And I've met people with this mindset, you know, and what I mean is they do not know how to bring their faith, which is seen by the world as a private thing, into the public realm. I mean, I remember talking with you, Sam, you mentioned about an experience you had at university. Where, you know, you were challenged. I don't know if you want to speak about that or not, but certainly, Mike, when you relayed that to me, I was thinking, you know, this young guy has faced this before in his life at university, that young people are still facing this today, that, you know, faith is, we don't mind you having your faith, just don't bring it into the public place. Don't bring it into your education. Don't bring it into your work life. Don't bring it into your politics. Don't bring it into any part of your life. Just keep it. If it's in home, if that's your thing, it's your thing. But don't bring it out here. But the Bible tells us that, and I think this is a brilliant verse for a Christian, you know, that all things were made for him. All things were made by him. All things are to him, which means Jesus Christ has relevance in every part of this world. Where it's education, where it's work, where it's whatever. So it's learn to bring that out. And applying Christ, everything.
Everything we do is meant to glorify Christ.
Exactly.
Whether it be work or whether it's your friends or whatever you're doing, everything's meant to be a stepping stone to be glorifying Christ.
So many, what we're saying here, Sam, is that, you know, and this is really going different, this is really turning into theology today here, that our worth is everywhere. Because of Christ.
But like, that's it.
My worth is not, oh, I've got a useless job. I've got a great education. I don't go to a posh school. I don't do this. Everything is relevant to Christ.
He cares about every detail of your life. It's just because you're a pastor doesn't mean Christ cares more about you than he does about me.
No.
Because I make hearses. He cares about us. He came to die for all sinners. Not because he knew, well, Paul, you're going to be a pastor one day, so I'm going to love you more. That's nowhere in the Bible. Christ came for all sinners, and he's made us that no matter where he puts us, because he puts us in those places. He put me in my workplace. He put you in Antrim. He has a purpose for us to be there, to be a shining light for him. We can't just take the backward seat and being like, oh, well, just because I'm not up in church every Sunday and preaching whatever, and I have to keep my mouth shut.
And some those problems are still there, even for pastors and if we talk full-time workers, which I don't like that term, because we're all full-time workers.
Exactly.
We're ambassadors for Christ.
Yeah.
And, a pastor can look for his self-worth in his own ministry as well. And I believe there are pastors out there, and, if they're not well thought of, and you're a great preacher, you're a great guy. And I do believe our congregation should encourage their pastors.
Yeah.
I'm speaking here, always encourage your pastor.
Yeah.
It means so much to him. Not to flatter his head, but to say, Pastor, thank you for the word.
Yeah.
Because Dr. John Douglas, I don't know if you remember Dr. Douglas, but he used to always say to me, Paul, there'll be days when you'll come out of that pulpit and you'll feel as if you've been applying concrete.
Yeah.
And, and the last thing you need to hear at the door is, it was easy to see you were struggling with day there, Pastor. But anyway, no, I often think, Sam, of the woman who broke the ointment at the feet of Christ and remember wiped his feet with her hair. Jesus said, this woman, her name will be mentioned to the end of time.
Yeah.
And who was she? Maybe as we come to a close here soon, Sam, what struck me about listening to you was we often think that issues around self-worth, self-esteem affect young women. And but there's no doubt it's very prominent amongst young girls.
Yeah.
But you're a young guy.
Yeah.
And guys, don't talk about their struggles. Guys don't talk about their struggles, with these things. But, I mean, have you any closing thoughts on this about, the young men and young women? But, sometimes, it's men are forgot about in these things. Where guys, there's this masculine mandate,
Yeah, but it's this masculinity.
It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, but it's, I think that their masculinity idea where men don't talk and men are tough and everything, that's not
biblical.
That's not biblical.
No.
That's the devil's way of isolating men. Because the devil knows that men are the leaders of the home. The devil knows if he can shut a man's mouth, he's won. Because if a man goes for help, and especially if a man turns to the word, or a Christian friend or a pastor, the devil will try to keep him away from getting that help, because he knows that help is exactly what he needs.
Yeah.
And like the most manly man that ever lived was Christ, and yet he wept. His strongest disciple, Peter, did terrible things, and yet he still wept. It's like, so for young men, we're not called to be this masculine
heroes.
We're not going to carry this on our own. Christ says to leave our burdens at his feet. Cast all your care upon him.
Amen.
We're not our own heroes, and we're not our own saviors.
Yeah.
And that idea for young men, and even for young women, we need to get away from that. That, where we're able to counsel each other and help each other is where we need to get to again. Because that fellowship is like, that fellowship is what we all need. That vulnerability is what we all need. Because when we're vulnerable, we grow stronger.
Yeah.
And that's where we actually get the help from. Is when we're actually being real with each other. Not saying, well, Paul, how's things today? Oh, not too bad. But really, what's going on? Like, what's really going on, Paul?
Yeah.
how's your walk with Christ? How are you getting on? Tell me what's going on. What are you struggling with? And having the idea as someone who's asking or someone who's looking to share, being like, I'm struggling with this. But knowing that the person that's listening isn't having the mindset of, I'm judging you for what you're going through.
Yeah.
It's having the compassion and care, being like, I am no better than you.
Yeah.
I know that I mightn't struggle with what you struggle with, but I'm here for you because Christ has been there for me. I've had my sins forgiven. I can't judge you because you're struggling with X, Y, and Z. It's like, we're no better. It's like, but I can pray with you. I can be an accountability partner for you.
That was the word that was coming into my head there. Yeah. Well, Sam, can I ask you a question here? And you can be, as a pastor, but I mean, in what ways, could churches be more aware of what's going on with their young people? In what ways can churches help? You've mentioned accountability here.
Yeah.
I think Northern Irish people, of course, given the history of this country, we're not we're less open to talk about our struggles and open up to people. But in what ways can this be, developed, encouraged, cultivated in our churches? From the church down. Obviously, a lot of pastoral care is done from the pulpit through preaching. But I'm talking about, elders, youth fellowship leaders.
Yeah.
At the very basic levels, how is this?
Like, even taking your normal 5/8, it doesn't need to be that you're a pastor or an elder or a committee man or a youth fellowship leader.
No, I know. But I'm just thinking in our churches, how do we as pastors, how do we as elders, and how does we as... Well, no, continue on. I think what you're saying here is good, because it's shown us we all have a part in this ministry.
We all have a part.
Yeah.
Like, if you are an older man, you should see the next generation being like, right, I might not have a position in the church, but I can come alongside that young man and mentor him and pray with him and say, look, if you ever need anything,
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm here for you, and I don't care what you're going through. You can talk to me and know that you're not being judged because I care about you and because Christ cares about you. You would see a massive change in the young people being open. You'd also see a massive change in the older generation being like, we have a responsibility here.
And a ministry.
Yeah. It does. You don't have to be a theologian. You just have to be real with your faith.
Yeah. Wow. Sam, this has been amazing. It's been really encouraging, and we are looking forward to having you on the 16th. I was double checking the date. The 16th of August in Park Hall Integrated College at 6:30. It's the close of our youth week. On that week, there'll be Monday through to Friday. We have different people speaking on different issues. But the title of the week is Made for More.
Yeah.
And really, Sam, what you said is your rediscovery of Christ, that you were made for more.
100%.
And this has been so joyful to hear this. And we do hope you'll come along on that Sunday night, 16th of August, in Park Hall Integrated College. And we will listen to Sam. Sam will be there to share with us from the scriptures, just how the Lord is taking him from circumstances from which you thought was hopeless.
Yeah.
So this has been absolutely amazing. So Sam, thank you, and hopefully it'll not be the last time I'll get you back in the pod for another conversation. So thank you, and God bless, brother.
Thank you.